ever felt like someone was watching you? That was what happened to me. You can call me Mandy, and I want to share with you the story of my creepy experience. In freshman year, I used to arrive to school with dark circles around my eyes. A lot of people called me zombie. Despite the silent laughs and gossip about me at the university, there was this guy who would always say hi to me whenever we saw each other. I never really saw how he looked. Since he was wearing glasses and always had his head down, he seemed like a nerd, and I never really paid attention to him. I was too busy and too tired every day to notice anyone. Have you ever been bombarded with so many tasks at school that it became your life? If you have, support this video by clicking like and hitting the subscribe button. As I was saying, people called me zombie. The reason for my deadly look was long hours of studying. I slept really late at night and woke up very early in the morning to commute from my parents' house to the university. During sophomore year, I finally decided to rent a place that is walking distance from the university. However, all of the nearby apartments were so expensive, and I was on a tight budget. I looked for some cheap rentals online, and I found this basement room that was really cheap. What a lucky find! I immediately took it. Living near the university was amazing. I woke up 30 minutes before class and was never late. I could stay in the library until late at night, and I never had to worry about missing the last bus. The best part was I had time to relax. Without the stress, my looks began to change, and I'm proud to say that people even started complimenting me. I began to start noticing the people around me too. It was then that things began to turn creepy. I had this feeling that someone was keeping an eye on me. One night in the library, I saw a shadow of a man from the window. Sometimes when I walked home, it felt like someone was secretly following me. But I shoved off the thought and blamed my overactive imaginations. Then, things turned worse. There was a week where I was only able to afford convenience store food for dinner to eat in my room while I was studying. A few days after that, I found an envelope slipped under my door with a $100 bill and a note that said, "Convenience store food isn't very healthy. Try to get something better to eat." I was more terrified than thankful to receive the money. After that, the notes kept on coming, and it started to worry me. One night, I came home crying, very upset that I had gotten a failing mark on a group presentation. I cried myself to sleep. A few days later, a huge teddy bear sat at my door with a note that said, "I wish I could comfort you during your sad times, but for now, I hope this bear will." Chills ran down my spine. I obviously have a stalker. How does he know what I'm doing inside my room? Am I being watched as I study, as I eat, as I sleep, or as I change my clothes? But how? I tried to figure out how this person knows everything I do in my room. One day, I decided to skip my classes and thoroughly check every inch of my room. My fear was confirmed. There were hidden cameras and microphones installed in the walls. What does this person want from me? Why would they wire my room? I was totally scared, but I refused to be the victim. I had a crazy idea to lure the stalker out. I started to plan it out with my best friend. One night, we decided to execute the plan. I gave my keys to my best friend and asked him to pretend to be a burglar, while I hid outside my apartment to see what was going to happen. My best friend took my laptop and other personal belongings. Then he took my study materials, placed them all in a trash bin, and lit a lighter. I know it seems a little extreme, but moments later, a man charged through my door and punched my friend in the face. I quickly entered to stop him from hurting my friend even more. When I saw who this man was, I was mesmerized by his handsome face. He then tried to call the cops, but I stopped him right away. Of course, I didn't want my best friend to go to jail. I explained to him that this whole thing was an act to lure him out. I told him that I was creeped out by all of the notes and gifts that he sent. He sincerely apologized. Turns out, he was the guy who always greeted me last year. He told me he had admired me since he first saw me at the university. Yes, he admired me despite my huge dark circles back when people called me zombie. That sense of admiration touched me. He told me that the landlady was his grandmother and he lived with her upstairs. When he found out that I was going to rent out the room in the basement, he wanted to make sure that I was comfortable and doing well, but he was too shy to ask me in person since I basically ignored him for a whole year. Even though his methods were unconventional and in a way totally trespassed on my privacy, I couldn't help but be moved with his sweetness. Eventually, we dated and got married. What are your thoughts on marrying my former stalker? Leave it in the comment section below. Did you enjoy this video? Let's get it to 500 likes and don't forget to check out our other nutty stories.